Hey guys, it's time for a midweek workout, and am I feeling excited about it? Not really, but the pigs have got to get moved. So what we've decided is bottom of the hill field, where it's not quite so hilly. This strip along here, we're just gonna split up probably into 4 paddocks. This all needs to be stock fenced at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen. Time being, electric's the way to go. Timber posts in each corner. See how far we can drive them down. Hopefully the ground's softened up a little bit. And then that'll give us something to tension against. And then in between we can just use plastic posts. Now I'm not sure when and how we're going to split up the video that we filmed yesterday, but we had Ben come out. Ben is a local farmer, but he's also a consultant and just expert in all things soil related and regenerative farming. So he came out and he did, we just had the best time actually. He dug sample holes in different fields. We looked at different things that were going on, what was right, what was wrong, what was very wrong. And one of the things was that this ground here is pretty rock solid. There's a big compaction problem. So we might have a bit of a struggle here getting these posts in. I'm going to cheat a little bit, give us a bit of a head start. Got this little hand auger. Obviously a petrol one would do the job a bit better. I'll tell you what, little did I know when I bought these augers for putting picket fences in our back garden that I'd be using them to fence pigs 2 years later. How times change. Our wild rabbit population who live in this hedge are going to get a bit of a shock this evening. All right, one in, that's solid enough. Go about 10 metres this way, get the other one in. Straight enough. So with our pigs, I go with 3. It's the 3rd one up, and the 5th one up. So I'm going to stick with that, with these wooden posts, use this as a guide. I had a tool for the impact driver, or for the drill, to fit these, but blooming snap, it's the first time I use it. So I need to get a metal one. Now I'm bound to get a comment about the fact there's an overhead power line here, and really you don't want to keep it directly under one or parallel to one really. We're going in slight angle. Don't think we're actually going to end up going under it. If you do go under them, you want to hit them perpendicular. But we're about 10 metres away here, and we're obviously a good bit under it, so hopefully we're okay. But it's not ideal. If I was putting a permanent one up, be slightly different position. I'd be pushing it, just keeping it on the perimeter. So we know we've got one by the hedge. Right, that is the 4 corner posts in. The sheep think I'm doing their fencing, so they're screaming their heads off. I pulled it pretty tight. Obviously it's dipping and touching in the middle, but we've still got to put all our intermediates in. So we've got 2 strands all the way around. Get these in. Almost ready for some pig migration. Oh, quick interruption. The neighbours just called us to let us know that a member of the public has said there's a sheep caught in brambles. False alarm, I reckon. They're definitely not team players, sheep. There's 38 this side. Not a care in the world. But they left a man down. You left one behind, guys. Come on, you. Come on. No, don't come down in the wall. Good lad. No, you're all right, girls. You're going to get moved in a minute. All right, let's not get distracted. He's all right. He'll come round. He is carrying half a hedge with him, but Joe and I have got to bring all the sheep in tomorrow for worming and just a general MOT. And at that point, we'll probably separate them into 2 groups as well, so we can take the brambles off him. Never a dull moment. I'm meant to be putting a roof on a cabin today. We're slowly getting there. You see the bit behind me? This is the track, what we call the track. In the past, everyone's driven, it would seem, through the middle of the field, and there's a really rutted section there. I'd much rather keep to the edge of the field, and now that way, if we're strip grazing, we don't have to get out of the truck or the car or whatever every single time, and it's just been a pain for the last 6 months. So we're going to build our new track, or I say build it, we're just going to leave our new track to the right here. And in the future, where this electric is, will eventually be like a nice post and rail fence or something like that, creating this sort of track that goes all the way down to the end field. Annoyingly, that reel that I've just put out, which I think is a 400-metre reel, I'm only about 2/3 of the way back. I've gone up and back. Ideally, I'd have 2, but I don't have 2. What I'm going to do is use these again. But one of the problems that I'm having is if I pull out the first post, so you can see here, this is the height of the 4 strands that comes out of the smart fence. And that's great, and that's kind of a general height for where I'd want. The one that came out the box, the second one, which is over there now where the sheep are, this strand is still up here, which is no good really for the sheep, doesn't do anything, it's just annoying to step over. So I'll be moving it down. It's just a case of undoing the nut here, and rethreading it. You rethread it through all the eyes once it's all packed together. But I'm just about to move them onto this grass, which is pretty much, well, as long as it's going to be this time of year. And you'll see the bottom strand here. If I was just to move this fence from where it's been grazed, this was here yesterday, from when it's been grazed over here, it would just constantly be in contact with the grass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lose the bottom one altogether. And I don't think that's a problem. Our sheep tend to stay behind 2 strands, so anything is better than 2. And I think if we, on this one for example, if we drop that top strand down to this eye and then lose the bottom one altogether, I still think that's a really solid fence. And even with a 200mm gap at the bottom, there's not much chance, especially before lambing. Right, so I'm hoping I can wind in this bottom one. Just swing that shut. Not that I don't trust you, but I definitely don't trust you. Come on, you can come up here tomorrow. Down you go. Good girl. Oh, look at that, that's what it's all about. It's that real depth, that length of grass that they really want. Beautiful. Well, we've got half of it done. What I want to do now is take the truck over to the secret meadow to pull out all the fencing that's still over there from when we had the pigs over there. I don't think we're going to get them back over there before winter, because it's only going to get wetter. So we can pull all that fencing in, we can use that elsewhere. Right, pulled in all the fences, we've got that bit of poly wire there, which should be able to finish off the track to the side. I think I'm kind of wrapping it up over here for the year. And then and we'll just kind of rest it. The sheep have been over here, the pigs have been over here, and they made a start on it. And I really wish that when Ben, our new kind of farming mentor, was here, we brought him over here, because this is the one part of the farm we didn't really show him. Because this is the soil that we need to improve and work on and plant and get trees over here and all sorts. So maybe he will have to come back for a return visit if he's got the time. You might remember that back in the summer this was just towering with kind of 2 meter tall overgrowth, like just basically weeds. And it was a real tough time getting it started. Then the grass started coming through and it was almost grazable. The sheep seem to have been busy enough over here, but they've disturbed it a bit. And if it wasn't so late in the year, I would probably be trying to sow something in here. We do have some herbal ley seed coming through this week. I know it's the end of September, but for the sake of, for the risk of £15, I think probably would cost just overseed a little bit here. It's got like chicory and some deep rooting plants in it that might just help the soil down here, because it gets waterlogged and it's not the best. And then we're kind of coming through to where the pigs sorted out all that balsam. So everywhere where you see there's growth missing is where it was simply just nettles and balsam. Once again, we should have, I mean, we're learning, we should have been ahead on reseeding this, because it's pretty much bare ground now. The only thing that will take into this is just nettles and whatever is in the seed bank, and I can't imagine it's stuff we want. So it will kind of lay a little bit dormant. Again, I can just seed it a little bit just by hand to see what that does. Now that it's resting over here, you never know, it might just have enough time to take before winter. But it's seriously opened up in here, and it just, in the right light, it's really beautiful. And a bit of a hidden spot of the farm. I think by next year we'll have more grazing over here. The areas that we have grazed, we can reseed and get kick-started in the spring. And then this area here, well, we'll wait and see whether we fence it off and make it more of a nature area, and we just bring the pigs in for that 1-2 month hot spell in the summer, because it's just so nice and cool down here. And then the rest of the year it can be left a little bit more to nature. I don't think there's, I mean, we've got enough trees here for the pigs and the sheep that when they're out in the grazing areas, a little bit like a silvo pasture setup, they can get in amongst the trees, that's fine. I don't think they need to be in that big scrape in there all the time. So maybe we'll fence it off and make it a nice little kind of retreat. But apart from that, we might call it for 2022 for the secret meadow. Bizarrely, it's the least seen part of the farm, but it's probably had the most progress over anything we've done. Having this all now stock fenced, cleared, improved the pasture a little bit. I think we've done all right over here. Oh, well, that was, you missed the successful split. Managed to just jump the fence over the top of her. And now Tilly's off on her hollies. Come on. This is what people don't realise. Look at that. She eats just as much as the sheep. Definitely want to be out on grass, these piggos. Come on. She is the most obedient out of all of our livestock. Come on. When she hasn't got a mouthful of grass. We had the results back. Joe did a sample for basically a fecal egg count. So when it's time to come to worming, rather than just unnecessary medication, you send off a sample and then they tell you if it's actually required or not, because there's no point in medicating if you don't need it. And Matilda had 0 egg count, like not a single parasite in any of it. So that's pretty crazy, isn't it? So absolutely nothing needed for her. And the sheep were a medium, so they need just their routine worming. You're a healthy girl, aren't you? I made you a nice paddock and you got your own hut. Come on. Good girl. Look at this. You've never been down here before, have you? Come on. Well, she definitely deserves a rest after 9 piglets. Come on. Right, under here. Good girl. You gonna have a look in there? Well, right, I'm gonna leave some of the fun for Joe. So tomorrow we will move the 4 off the bank, and then they'll be down here as well. I'll put a wire across here, and then they'll be next door neighbours. They're Matilda's last litter from Christmas last year. Bring her down some water, bale of straw in there. Happy days. She's gonna sleep well tonight. Look at them, they haven't even noticed. They have not bothered one bit. Come on, Piggo. Get you another bale tomorrow. Not out here. Well, there we go, everyone is happy. These girls just want a bit of fresh green stuff, but the sheep are happy as can be down there. We do have that sheep chore tomorrow, which is going to be to bring them all in, all the way up here into the yard and get them all drenched, but well, we'll save that for another day. Matilda's down there enjoying the sunset, and the piglets, well, they're doing their thing up the top. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself. And we'll see you next time.